in a government sector, there are a lot of challenges, and there is no uniformity in the standard of care in a government sector, because there are various stringent rules and regulation. We have to bring some changes in them. Initially, it was a problem. So everybody was trying to say, yes, he's a son-in-law of H.D. Deve Gowda, former chief minister, former prime minister. Whenever you have this political affiliation, there are advantages and there are equal disadvantages. There's no point in going on making allegations. Let us not get into vindictive politics. I don't believe in vindictive politics. At no point of time I was nervous. There are two ranges of a victory margin. One is I might win by 50,000, or if the undercurrent gets converted into votes, it would be around 1.5 lakhs, but ultimately ended up with 2.7 lakh lead. Just because I am soft-spoken, that cannot be taken as a weakness actually. It's a culture, and it's the respect we are giving to others. I introduced this concept, whether patient has money, no money, documents, no document, insurance, no insurance, let us treat. During active COVID infection, yes, some people have died because of heart attack, because it was promoting clot formation in the arteries of the heart, resulting in heart attack, in arteries of the brain, resulting in stroke, or arteries of the lung, causing pulmonary embolism. Young and middle-aged Indians are becoming vulnerable to heart attack, and of course it has become number one killer. In the last 15 years, the incidence of heart attack among the youngsters has gone up by 22%. So India is already has become world capital of heart attack.
Hello and welcome to our weekly talk show, The Interview, and our special segment, Coffee on Sunday. From fixing hearts to actually winning them over is how one can best describe Dr. C.N. Manjunath, a cardiologist-turned-politician. His achievements as a doctor and his treatment-first, payment-later scheme won praise from none other than former US President Barack Obama. As a doctor, he stood on his own. But can that be said about his politics? Perhaps not, because he did gain from the Gowda connection. Manjunath is former Prime Minister Deve Gowda's son-in-law. We speak to him about his switch from medicine to politics, the road ahead, and whether the COVID vaccine led to increased number of heart attacks. This and much more with Dr. Manjunath in this edition of The Interview in our special segment, Coffee on Sunday. Welcome to the show, Dr. C.N. Manjunath, and thank you for being here with us.
Thank you. Thank you, ma'am.
Let me begin with the family connection. You are former Prime Minister Deve Gowda's son-in-law. You are brother-in-law of a former Chief Minister. How much did this connection help in your selection and in your election?
No, actually, I am a cardiologist. Actually, I am totally committed to my profession. In fact, although I am coming from a political background, I am part of this political family, I kept myself totally away from politics. So that everybody says, even a common man on the street in our state.
So why did you now jump into it? And is it also true that your father-in-law dissuaded you and said, keep away from it?
No, what happened, I got retired from this institute on January 31st. The post-retirement, there were a lot of felicitations across the state. During felicitation functions, people started floating this. Dr. Manjunath, you have done so much. Why can't you go to a national level? At the same time, the Lok Sabha elections were notified. So this is how, so ultimately it is the people, they were talking about my candidature. Then the political parties took it up, BJP and JDS. So particularly BJP pursued it. my father-in-law as well as my brother-in-law. So that's how it has happened.
But your father-in-law did dissuade you, and he was not very keen that you should jump into politics.
Yeah, that's correct. So my father-in-law initially said, better, I think,
Stay
because
away.
politics is a different game, and all through, because you are a committed doctor, you are a committed cardiologist, and people hold you in high esteem. So because of his long experience as a politician, so that is a talk of wisdom coming from a man with political wisdom, he has said. Then ultimately, even my family, my wife also was not agreeing. Even I also never dreamt in my dreams that I will be contesting election. So somehow circumstances and somehow persistent pressure from political circles made me to contest.
So when your family said no, how did you decide, and why did you decide to go against that and say yes?
No, they also fell in line actually. So my wife, because many local political leaders came and had a discussion with all the family members, then all of us were convinced.
And you thought politics is the correct platform. Because when you say national level, you could have also, gone into various states and set up hospitals. So why do you feel that national level is synonymous only with politics?
No. Actually, whatever I have set up, institution, it is a public institution. It's a government institution. So to do something in government sector, I think this is the only way. Otherwise, if you go to a different state, because their respective governments have their own whims and fancies, so it may not be possible.
So going forward, how do you think your being an MP is going to help you expand the network of your hospitals?
One thing, because normally what happens in a government sector, there are a lot of challenges, and there is no uniformity in the standard of care in a government sector. Buildings and equipments alone will not provide a quality service, because there are various stringent rules and regulation. We have to bring some changes in them, so that it should be faculty friendly. Actually, when I took over in 2006 as a director of this Jayadeva Heart Institute at Bangalore, so the bed strength was only 300. Now today it is, when I left, it is 2,000. In fact, I survived 7 chief ministers from different parties, different mindset.
So how tough was that? 7 chief ministers from different mindsets. How tough was that to survive there?
No, actually, some of them were looking my political background, and some of them were looking my professional background and the achievement I have done. But I was universally liked by everybody. So only after entering the politics, yes, now we have taken some party lines. So even then, many a time, if you are coming from a strong political background, your achievements, your contributions might be diluted. They may not give full credit to that. So to come out of that particular shadow, it took some time. Initially, it was a problem in the early part of my profession. So everybody was trying to say, yes, he's a son-in-law of H.D. Deve Gowda, former chief minister, former prime minister, like that. Then after some time, I established myself. I am known by myself as a cardiologist, as an administrator.
But it is also true that on many occasions, or at least on some occasions, you were victimized because of your political connections. And at another level, equally, you also benefited because a particular chief minister, for instance, and I will not take names, did extend your tenure by 5 years.
Yeah, that's what. So it is both, whenever you have this political affiliation, there are advantages and there are equal disadvantages. That I fully agree. But in my case, almost I can say it's about, yes, it is equal.
But tell me about both the victimization and the fact that you also gained because your predecessor had to really resign to make way for you.
No, what happened actually, that was in 2006. So at that time, hospital was in shambles actually, and I was keen on developing institution and bringing some new technology so that a common man should be benefited. So that was the only thing. And even then, in 2006, I took over as a director for a period of 5 years. Because of our contributions and achievements, it got extended by successive chief minister. So, and ultimately what happened, each time the people wanted me, people of the state. In fact, when I got retired in that farewell ceremony, it was a very emotional and tearful farewell.
Dr. Manjunath, most farewells are visibly emotional. So that really is not a yardstick. But coming back to my original question, it is said that one or two chief ministers, at least one, did extend your tenure simply because he wanted to build bridges with your father-in-law.
Of course, I don't want to tell too many things, but after I took over, there was a metamorphic changes in the services. So that was my dream actually. That was my dream. If I get an opportunity to lead that organization, I should show this nation a government hospital can function like a 5-star corporate hospital. My extension is purely on reputation, purely on my contribution. In fact, even this time, when I got retired, there was a lot of public opinion that I should have been continued.
You know, the family connection has been an advantage. Equally, another family member's controversy and misdeeds have cast a shadow. Prajwal Revanna, if you know who I'm referring to. How much did that adversely affect your election?
Well, anyway, actually that is separate because they are all living separately. In fact, we only time we see them is either during some family functions or during some marriage functions. Otherwise, there is no intimate contact.
But you know, he belongs to your family. So surely that must have had an impact, an adverse impact on your election.
Whenever such events happen, it is always painful to hear those things. And such things nobody can support.
Didn't the opposition rake it up?
Actually, I contested from Bangalore Rural and he has contested from Hassan. So they started this issue just maybe 48 hours or maybe about 72 hours before the polling dates. So it has not affected.
You are seen as a white-collar politician and you have yourself said that you will not do what is called conventional politics. So just explain both. You're being a white-collar politician and not wanting to do what you call conventional politics.
Now, some senior politician did say during campaign, Dr. C.N. Manjunath is a white-collar politician. But see, my definition of white-collar means helping poor people, reaching out to the needy people. And because when you are mixing with the people, mixing with the patient, you will understand the ground realities. Even in my tenure as a director and the cardiologist, it was like a Janta Darshan. My room was open, it was accessible, and there was nothing like an appointment. They were coming, going, so that's how it has happened.
So what about not doing conventional politics?
No, conventional politics, say, I don't want to criticize anybody because these critics always will die, but your achievements will be forever. So your achievements should talk.
So let me put this differently. What is it that you will do differently from the run-of-the-mill politician?
Yeah, I will always, even if your own opponents does some good thing, let us give some credit. Let us compliment. And as far as some developmental issue is concerned, I think let's all work together. I'm not very keen that my name should be there in the invitation. I'm not very keen that my name should be there in these inauguration stones, or I'm not very keen. And there's no point in going on making allegations for the sake of allegations. Let us not get into vindictive politics. I don't believe in vindictive politics.
When you said you are not keen on your name, I probably will take that. But at the same time, you were criticized, severely criticized, when in a public institution, you installed a statue of a god, but more importantly, you did that in the memory of your father and inscribed your father's name. So it was not the statue which got the criticism or drew flack, but it was the fact that you used public space and a public hospital to immortalize your father's name.
No, what happened actually in our state of Karnataka, in many public hospitals, the Ganesha statue, Ganesha idol is installed. It's not unique for this institute. Yes, initially that name was there, then it was removed because I didn't realize that. So
it was a mistake.
Yeah.
What about the alleged gold-plated railings that you put in the corridors?
No, it's not gold-plated. It is absolutely not gold-plated. It is a metal only. But it looks like that. It is. See, actually, I don't know. It is just a simple metal. It's not gold. Because why I did that was, see, lot of my floor where I sit, chamber is flooded with patients always. They always used to keep their feet on the walls when they stand. So it was getting dirt. So each time, every 15 days, used to paint. We put the railings. So the railings are simple metal.
Colored in gold.
It's not gold. It is an yellow painting.
Politics, you said, is an investment. What gains are you expecting to accrue now that you are a member of parliament?
Investment of knowledge, actually. So your knowledge, your expertise, and your contributions. So we should be able to see whether we can make a difference. Ultimately, a common man should be benefited.
Yours was a tough contest. You were pitched against a senior member of parliament. Also, the brother of a deputy chief minister. How big was the challenge and how confident were you?
Actually, what happened, for me actually, I did not realize at all.
What you were getting into?
Yeah, I did not realize. And I visited all 8 assembly segments. When I am going for campaigning, the love and affection people were showing me. And also, many people from the opposition, they used to tell me, Dr. Manjunath, don't worry, we are all with you. Certainly, in fact, it is our fortune that you have contested some of the words and you sleep well. Don't get worried. And also, I could see a visible undercurrent. And so I was certain that I am going to win.
So did you sleep well? Were you confident? Were you nervous? Did you have sleepless nights?
No, actually, no. No, I think I was, because the love and affection people were showing their expression. And you go, across all, even from the opposition party, they were telling, whenever because I toured for nearly 39 days, it was pretty hard sun. And at that time, wherever I go, I was getting very good response. And at no point of time I was nervous. And I had 2 ranges of a victory margin. One is I might win by 50,000, or if the undercurrent gets converted into votes, it would be around 1.5 lakhs. But ultimately ended up with 2.7 lakh lead.
You are rather soft-spoken. Do you see this as a disadvantage in Parliament, where the decibel levels have to be very high?
No, just because I am soft-spoken, that cannot be taken as a weakness actually. It's a culture and it's the respect we are giving to others, that is one. Although I am soft-spoken, very firm in my decision.
Yes, but in Parliament, you need to be heard.
No. When it comes to that, I can speak loudly also. That is not an issue.
So as a politician, we will probably see you raising your voice.
Yes. Suppose if there are any issues, either concerned with the state, concerned with the constituency, or concerned with our own, wherever we feel our suggestions will make a difference, certainly we'll raise the voice, no issue.
Interestingly, your constituency is characterized by where the Hindi film Sholay was shot. It is kind of known as Gabbar Singh's den. Any drama, and does that resonate with the people now?
No, I think it's almost one generation has gone through. See, almost this is exactly what happens. Each generation, in my opinion, will last for about 30, 40 years. So then for the next generation, they forget actually. Not only Sholay, even they forget the people, they forget the achievements and contributions of the people also.
Your treatment first and payment later scheme, it was praised by former US President Barack Obama also. So tell me and take me through that.
You see what happened, I literally coined 3 terms and followed it, implemented it. These 3 slogans are treatment first, payment next. Life is more important than the file. Humanity is priority. See, you reverse life, it becomes file. You reverse file, it becomes life. See, what happens, any patients, that to a cardiac patient coming to an emergency room, even 1 minute is very, very important. Even because 1 minute can make a big difference being alive versus not alive. So that is the reason I introduced this concept, whether patient has money, no money, documents, no document, insurance, no insurance, let us treat. Initially, there was some advance payment was there, 2,000 rupees they have to pay at the time of admission. See, during that process, some patient may be having less money or may not be having money. Then the whole admission process gets delayed, and during that time, mishap can happen, and death occurs only once. So, keeping that in background, this was done, and in fact, that gives a maximum satisfaction. So, regarding former US President Barack Obama appreciating our affordable healthcare model, what happened? Maybe about 12-13 years back, one US citizen visited Jaideva Institute of Cardiovascular Sciences in the middle of the night with some symptoms of chest pain. So at that time, yes, ECG was taken, screening echo, some blood test was done, and the amount he paid was 92 rupees. Then he wrote to Obama, I am US citizen, India is a democratic nation, and so also United States. Here, I walked into a government institution and I got everything done for only 92 rupees. And most importantly, a consultant specialist doctor, saw me. So why can't we have this model in United States? So then you wrote back to that, that US citizen, and a copy also to us, marked to us. See, I fully understand your feelings. I fully understand the situation. When my mother, when my mother had some major illness, I was moving from hospital to hospital with insurance papers. Certainly, this is a great suggestion. We'll see that. We'll try to do something in Obama healthcare. So this is how it has happened.
One quick question on vaccines. Do you think they have contributed to the increased number of heart attacks post-COVID?
Look at the scenario of heart attack in India. Young and middle-aged Indians are becoming vulnerable to heart attack, and of course it has become number 1 killer. And post-COVID, it has got more attention because some celebrities have died of heart attack, and some VIPs have died of heart attack. All of a sudden, so people started thinking whether it is happening because of COVID. During active COVID infection, yes, some people have died because of heart attack because it was promoting clot formation in the arteries of the heart, resulting in heart attack, in arteries of the brain, resulting in stroke, or arteries of the lung, causing pulmonary embolism. But vaccination as such is extremely rare. The vaccine-induced heart attack is very, very rare. For every 10 lakhs vaccinated, chances of getting a heart attack is around 4 to 5, not percent, 4 to 5 people can get an heart attack for every 10 lakh vaccination.
And for how long after taking the vaccine does one remain susceptible to cardiac arrest?
Yeah, 3 to 6 months. So maximum 1 year. So vaccine-induced susceptibility for heart attack is maximum is 1 year. But majority of those complications, if at all, if they are occurring, usually within 3 to 6 months post-vaccination.
So that means the alarm period
that is over.
Actually over.
Yeah, because we got second dose of vaccine somewhere in 2021, I think. Yeah, 2021. So I think people should not get worried about this. But one thing, in the last 15 years, the incidence of heart attack among the youngsters has gone up by 22%. So India is already has become world capital of heart attack. So our younger generations are under terrible stress, I should say. Today, children education has become mother's examination. Mothers are also stressed. See, when we were medical students 35, 40 years back, hardly used to see heart attack in women below 40. Today in our series, 8% of women in the young heart attack group, suffered from this.
So you're saying it is mother stress.
Yeah.
Interesting. You just said India is the heart attack capital. If I'm not mistaken, wasn't it a diabetes capital of the world?
Diabetes is one of the important risk factors for heart attack or cardiovascular disease because diabetics are 5 times more prone for cardiovascular disease. And another thing, in fact, in India, there are at this point of time, there are about 10 crore diabetics. Another 10 crores are pre-diabetic. Whether you are diabetic, full-blown diabetic, or whether you are pre-diabetic, risk for cardiovascular disease remains same. You can't say I'm just pre-diabetic, borderline diabetic, I need not bother. So I think diabetes is also very important. Diabetes and high blood pressure.
Finally, how different is this ball game from medicine to politics, from fixing hearts to actually winning them over?
Yeah, see, always the people's expectations is sky high. So that is one thing is this thing. And earlier, of course, I used to see a lot of patients and I was surrounded by patients attenders. Now I am going to be surrounded by constituency people. So I consider this politics as a service sector. Even my medical profession is a service sector. This also a service sector.
Before I let you go, let me ask you to explain something which you said, and I quote, India would not have won freedom had mobile phones existed before 1947.
See, today, the biggest university in this world is WhatsApp University. And also provocative things, inflammatory things, and those spread very fast. See, a lot of false stories would have been created. So Britishers could have used this as a weapon to fool the Indians. That is the reason I said like.
Dr. Manjunath, thank you very much. Thank you for your time. And thank you for taking us through both health and politics.
Thank you very much.